Hi everyone, welcome to the Creative Conclave by Creative Edge. It is India's first and the biggest conclave for design and architecture and aspiring students. What we have today is a very special session. This is the first session that we are doing, and in this first session, we have a very special guest. We have got Mevin with us, and he'll be speaking on fashion and related designs. इसमें हम फॉर्मेट कैसा रखेंगे, इसमें हम फॉर्मेट थोड़ा एक इंटरव्यू टाइप से रखेंगे. मोस्टली मेवन पूरा आंसर इंग्लिश में ही करेंगे. आप लोगों को थोड़ा सा ध्यान से उसे सुनना पड़ेगा. With this, I would like to start with welcoming Mevin to the session and introducing him. For introduction, what I tried was remembering his overall introduction. But his introduction, his bio is so long, he's so richly experienced that I could not do that. So pardon me and allow me, Mevin, to read out your bio for everyone. So we have with us Mr. Mevin Murden. He is Director of Education at Instituto Marangoni School of Fashion and Design, Mumbai. Mevin counts 10 years of international luxury industry experience in Mauritius, Australia, South Africa, Dubai, Europe, in areas such as hotels, cosmetics, fragrances, fashion, events, and arts. He has worked with brands such as Cerruti, Armani, Oberoi, Cartier, Rolex, Banentry, Australia, and Melbourne clubs. Mevin has been studying business for 7 years at various universities worldwide, such as La Trobe University, Australia, Manchester Metropolitan University, UK, Institute of Art, Design and Technology, Ireland, and Harvard University, USA. In 2010, Mevin was awarded Best Strategic Marketing Tutor by the Association of Business Executives UK and in 2015, Best Tutor by Istituto Marangoni, London, where he has been teaching for 7 years and led industry projects for students with brands such as Alexander McQueen, Vivienne Westwood, Saint Laurent, Macintosh, Burberry, Montero, Loro Piana, Paul Smith, Zahar Hadid, Dewakwag, LA, and GQ. In 2017, Mevin spent 1 year opening the new school in Mumbai at Fashion Business Program Leader, and in 2018 was for 1 year the Director of Education of the Shanghai School. Mevin specialism is luxury brand marketing, and his research interest is neuromarketing and neo craftsmanship in luxury. Wow, Mevin, we are so glad to have you here. Welcome to the session.
Thank you.
So, Mevin, we have got students who are aspiring to be designers, aspiring designers who are in class 10th, 11th, and 12th, and maybe some of the designers who are looking to be into the world of fashion and related design and in the world of fashion business. So, these students would like to hear you out. So, my first question to you would be, how would you define a fashion design or styling and other related design in your own style? And maybe some of the designers
Okay,
who are looking to
so
be
thank you
into
so much for
the
this
world of
question. Hello,
fashion and
everyone.
related
Welcome to
design and in
Istituto
the
Marangoni, Mumbai.
world of
For
fashion
me,
business.
coming from a fashion
So these
business
students
background, I
would
kind
like
of
to hear you
learned
out.
to understand
So
what fashion designers do
my
and
first
fashion
question to
styling
you would
does
be, how would you
in
define a
terms
fashion
of the
design or
actual job
styling
and
and other
what you're
related design
required
in
to
your
learn
own?
and how to deliver on the job. And the simplest way I can describe this, and I think many people like that description because it's very simple. And I have here a fashion design student in second year, just to reinforce a little bit her experience and what learning to be a fashion designer is. So first of all, I'll start with an actual definition of fashion, because there's often a misconception of what fashion is. Fashion is very, very seasonal. So fashion has to do with trends. Our students do a lot of trend research and understanding every season things change, the shapes change, fabrics change, colors change, etc. So fashion is very seasonal. Whereas, as Saint Laurent said, style is eternal. Okay, so that's a very, very important point about studying fashion in general. It's seasonal. Whereas if we look at, for example, bridal wear and ethnic wear, etc., there's not so much of these trends that goes in. A what a fashion designer does is design a product. So this is a product that I'm wearing. This is a product that Amaya is wearing. It's a product. It requires a lot of patience, a lot of, yes, you agree? A lot of research and a lot of working on your own, right? Do you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
So I feel when we are creating a product, as Evan said, we basically have to start with a theme, and then we create according to the trends that are there. The colors come in accordingly, and then we find inspiration. So everyone has different modes of getting inspired. So once I think you get that and you set all your things in line, you have everything in order. You need to be very organized. So once all of that is set, I think you can start creating and then working on it and making it better.
Yeah, thank you. So then we have the clothes from the fashion designers. They hang it on a rack. Then the fashion stylist comes in and says, okay, this dress, we are going to wear it on this model. We are going to do the hair like that. We are going to wear trainers or these shoes with it, this type of makeup. And we're going to shoot a photo, you know, we're going to do a photo shoot behind in front of a tree or in front of a wall, or we are going to shoot, I don't know, Deepika, the actress, as Bollywood celebrity in that dress, or is going to go on the cover of Vogue magazine. So that's what a stylist does. It takes the product that's created by the fashion designer and makes it into an image that we as consumers want. You see it on a magazine, you see it on the runway, you see it on a fashion editorial shoot in a magazine and say, I want that dress. That's the stylist's job. So the stylist needs a lot of organizational skills, a lot of networking skills, because they need to be able to source shoes and accessories from different suppliers, photographers. They need to be really a team player, because stylists really works as a team, not so much as designers who kind of work on their own most of the time. So I hope this is kind of a simple definition of how the two fields within fashion differ. And I'll add to this, fashion business actually is taking that image that the fashion stylist has created and communicating it to the right consumers, and also making it available for the consumers to buy in different retail locations. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mevin. I mean, you gave us a very good differentiation between fashion design, fashion styling, and fashion business, which helped a lot. And thank you, Amaya, for also adding up to what Mevin is saying. Uh, what are the jobs and career opportunities in these fields? See, we have often heard that people don't get to work in these fields. They don't get good jobs. They don't get good work opportunities. What's your take on that?
Well, my take on it is that when I look at at the European schools, the designers are designers are so valued and respected. And even here in India, the big designers are very valued and respected. But what we see with our students here is that many students want to launch their own brands. So a lot of our students study with us and then they launch really beautiful, sustainable brands, and they're very successful. Actually, we have our tutors, Shweta, who has her own brand. We have quite a our alumni. They've studied with us and they launched their own brand and are successful designers. So studying fashion design is either you launch your own brand or you can join a big brand and work for them, and in different aspects. It can be anything from pattern cutting studio, it could be design research, it could be any aspect of fashion design. Otherwise, fashion styling, it's working for magazines, working for the film industry, and one thing that's actually very, very strong here for our fashion styling students is the Bollywood industry, of course. It's huge. If I compare to London, of course, our students would go and work for advertising agencies or magazines or runway shows, etc. But here you have the opportunity of also working for the huge celebrity culture that exists in India. So many of our students actually, and tutors, have actually worked with celebrities in Bollywood and styling them for films or advertising campaigns or for events in general.
So yeah, so according to you, there are ample of opportunities available in the market.
Yes, for me, there are always opportunities. It's really how the student approaches their career path, and we make sure that we are not training our students not just to do the job, but to have real industry experience, to know how it really feels to be in those fields, to be able to have soft skills, to be able to network, to be able to have very strong work ethic and professionalism. I think our student might let elaborate on this, how disciplined we are and how organized we are, and we make sure that students are treated as future professionals, but and not just students. We treat them as future colleagues. So training them really for the industry. Opportunities exist everywhere, and it's really about how much drive and passion you have and dedication you have for that career.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So, Mevin, my another question again related to jobs and placements only. Why I'm asking you so many questions on jobs and placements? Because this is a field you have been in this field for so long, but in India, wherein we do not have this industry very much developed in terms of studying fashion or styling or maybe fashion business, students and their parents often doubt would they get placements when they are in college, or what are the companies that come and give placement to these kind of students?
So if you follow our Instagram page, we often post our students who are currently in placement. So we have placements, students placed with Gucci, with big brands, with Tarun Tagliani. We have students working with Burberry, etc. So our students career services here. We have someone who's dedicated to coordinate with industry, and the industry comes to us also to say we need interns, and then we make sure that the students are placed. So the work experience is very important for us. Apart from work experience, of course, in the class you have industry experts who come and gives them projects to work on. So the latest one we did with fashion business, for example, is Numero 21 from Milan. The CEO called in and talked to our students, and they work on a market entry strategy for that brand. And then we presented back to the CEO in Milan. In terms of fashion styling, we have fashion photo shoots. We have our students just worked with Elle, the editor of Elle magazine, and they were asked to do trend boards, which are going to be published. The 3 students who were selected are going to be published in the Elle magazine. So all of this exposure is something that we really value a lot. And I've just finished 2 days of shooting for our fashion design students, where we produced a beautiful fashion film for them, where we will showcase their work to the whole world on our international platform.
So what I can understand from all this, if the students who want to be in fashion or in styling or any other design field to be specific, they get enough opportunities to work. So there are a lot of companies who are looking for students, freshers who have just passed out from the college, or who are in fact in the college right now during their programs. They get a lot of opportunities to work.
Yes, absolutely. And we
That's
encourage them to work always, even during holidays. Any experience is a good experience. We don't just learn from books. That's very important for us.
That's great. That's so good to hear. Uh, my last question, Mevin, I've taken a lot of your time, but my last question. If a student who wishes to be in any kind of design, maybe fashion, maybe styling, how should he or she prepare for the same? I mean, what is something that you would like to tell the listeners, the audience that we are having right now? What is the one thing or things that you would like to tell them how they should prepare for these things?
I think you want to.
Okay, so when I was applying for fashion designing, I initially started going to a lot of, like, I started focusing on certain designers that I really, really liked and admired. I started looking at their work, and I started reading a few articles that I could get, and side by side practice sketching, and try to understand how things match, and how to, like, fashion layout, like how to put things in your portfolio. and basically you just try to represent yourself before coming anywhere.
Yes, absolutely, you're right. It's super important to kind of already know if you're going into fashion design, what kind of designer you want to be, who do you aspire to be like? Because fashion design is so big. I mean, globally, there's different types of designers, and knowing really where you want to go with that career is important before you join, because otherwise you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. And I think research is the key word here. Do a lot of research in fashion styling or in fashion business or fashion design, and understand really what are the key people and careers in those sectors and who you aspire to be. So follow them on Instagram, research them and see what was their career path, what kind of experience they've had. And absolutely, as Ameya said, sketching is important. It's very manual, of course, fashion design, a lot of creativity. Find yourself as a designer, as a creative, read books, watch movies, experience life. It's all important for a creative person.
So we live in a very different world than the traditional studies that we do. For the students, I want to tell you, what Mevin has said and what Amaya has rightly mentioned. You have to be very observant. You have to have good drawing skills, and you have to build a very strong portfolio to be in a big fashion design college. If you want to be a good fashion designer, a remarkable fashion designer, observation is the key thing that you should look at. You should also look at improving your sketching skills, and enjoy life. You have to observe things everywhere. Like Mevin said, watch movies, watch TV shows, and take inspirations from there. So that's how you progress in fashion or related designs. Thank you so much, Mevin and Ameya, for being on this small talk, a brief talk on fashion related designs. For the audience, I want to tell you, Mr. Mevin is director at Istituto Marangoni School of Fashion and Design in Mumbai, and Amaya is a second year fashion design student. So you have to aspire to become both. You have to be aspiring to become Amaya, and you also have to aspire and look upon Mevin. I mean, this is how you should grow in the industry. Thank you so much, Mevin, for being here. Any last words that you want to tell to our students, the audience that you are listening to you?
No, I mean, for me, it's when I look at students nowadays, I'm looking at of course, everybody's talking about the pandemic, and for me, it has been super inspirational to see the resilience of our students studying even online, and also our tutors studying online, even creative subjects like pattern cutting and fashion design, and they managed to do their work and they've learned what they were supposed to learn, and they were very persistent. And I think it's very commendable to see this generation of students having so much passion despite what has happened in the past 2 years. They just want to be the designers, they want to be the best designers, they're working so hard.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mevin, and thank you so much, Amaya, for being here. And hope our students have learned good lessons from Mevin and also have had a good hearing experience from Amaya. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.